Story in the front of all of the newspapers today, particularly the Examiner have led with it on the front of the actual Examiner, which I don't have with me, but I can tell you that it's also the sidebar on the front of the Independent today. GAA youth coaches live through teams. So Colin Regan, the GAA's community and health manager, was before the Oireachtas committee yesterday. Now, Colin Regan is one of the best people you come across in sport. He kind of has this ability to transmit the sense that he is trying to do his very best for everybody he comes in contact with, and that's a rare thing in Irish sports. So when he talks, we should all listen, and he's saying that parents are being absolute I don't know, put words in his mouth, but they're it's a major issue that parents are putting kids off sport by their antics on sidelines, and it's really something that we as a country should address. The suggestion is that it's being driven by the win-at-all-cost mentality. It's also being driven by parents trying to live vicariously through their kids, and it's also being driven by the ego of the coach, who thinks that the under-10s is Real Madrid and the opposition is Man United, and this is his time to be in the Champions League and to have a 4-3-3 or to have win-backs, and that the only players who can play are the ones who can play in his system, as opposed to the kids who show up every week and don't get any game time. So this is a trauma in Irish sport that we keep talking about. Nothing ever really happens about it, and I'm not sure that parents are kind of looking at themselves and going, am I one of those dickhead parents on the sideline shouting at... There's a story in the Examiner, quick Google this morning, see, like, this comes up every 6 months, and one of the stories from 2017 was of a coach spotting a parent behind the goalkeeper, and it was the dad of the opposition striker trying to put the goalkeeper off. Like,
that's incredible.
What's the point? Your kid scores a goal and you've cheated by putting the goalkeeper off. Is he going home to celebrate that night?
In a sad manner, he probably gets some sort of satisfaction out of that. But
well, the dad gets of like, oh look, we cheated that kid out of like insanity.
It is like what you say there about coaches who think that they're Jose Mourinho on the sideline of these things kind of raises the question: at what stage do we stop being influenced by what we see on the television? Like, people always say, well, look at Cristiano Ronaldo doing a bad thing, that's going to influence all the 7-year-olds out there. But like, what about Jose Mourinho playing negative tactics but succeeding? Maybe that's actually influencing the 40-year-olds of this country, where maybe we don't stop being we don't lose our ability to be resistant to change or resistant to kind of things we see on television. And I know that seems like a bit of a weird thing to say, but maybe they see Jose Mourinho giving tetchy post-match interviews and they're like, I can see something of myself in that person. Yeah. I'm going to impose his negative style because it's been relatively successful. Or
let's face it, Andy McEntee on his treatment to the referee at the weekend. Like that we need to call that out as unacceptable, as opposed to going, everybody has sympathy for me. And it's hard not to have sympathy for me because the refereeing decisions are so bad. But like, as Mike Quirk said, you need to get over it.